Most discussions regarding self doubt treat it as a psychological flaw, a lack of confidence, or a wound to be healed. This perspective is biologically and evolutionarily inaccurate. Doubt is not a malfunction, it is a sophisticated high speed calculation. When you experience the hesitation, the overthinking, or the physical tension that we call doubt, you are not witnessing a personal failing. You are witnessing the output of a specialized biological engine designed to ensure your survival within a social hierarchy. In this video, we will examine the mechanics of this system. We will move away from emotional dramatization and look at the data. We will explore how your brain forecasts social damage, why your reputation was historically a matter of life and death, and why the higher you climb, the more frequently this system activates. This is not a motivational speech. This is an analysis of the status forecasting system. To understand doubt, we must first understand the brain's primary objective: prediction. The brain does not wait for a negative event to happen before it reacts. According to predictive processing theory, popularized by neuroscientist Carl Friston, the brain is a forward modeling machine. It is constantly generating simulations of the immediate future and comparing those simulations against reality to minimize prediction error. In a social context, this predictive engine is focused on one specific variable: your standing within the group. Humans possess a continuous, mostly unconscious rank monitoring system. This system is not abstract or poetic, it is computational. It tracks five primary metrics: relative competence. How skilled am I compared to those observing me? Relative dominance. Who has the power to exert will over whom? Coalition alignment. Who is on my side and who is aligned against me? Observer attention. Who is watching and what are their expectations? Norm boundaries. What are the unwritten rules of this specific environment? Before you perform any socially visible action, whether that is sending an email, speaking up in a meeting, or publishing a creative work, your brain runs a rapid simulation. It asks, what is my current rank in this context? What rank does this action imply? How likely is the audience to validate or punish this move? If the action you are about to take implies a rank claim that is higher than your securely established status, the system flags a risk. That flag is what you feel as doubt. It is an internal warning that you are about to overreach in the hierarchy and that the hierarchy may push back. We must recognize that every socially expressive act is at its core an implicit rank claim. This is supported by costly signaling theory developed by Amatz Zahavi. High risk displays signal underlying value, but they also invite scrutiny. Consider these functional examples. Offering a strong opinion. You are claiming cognitive authority over the subject. Giving instruction. You are claiming a position of dominance or leadership. Displaying sexual or romantic interest. You are claiming a specific mate value. Expressing originality. You are claiming the uniqueness of your perspective. Challenging an established idea. You are claiming parity with or superiority to the current authority. The nervous system evaluates these claims against your established standing. If you are a junior employee challenging a CEO, the rank claim is massive. The risk of the claim being rejected is high. Consequently, the doubt signal will be intense. This is also reflected in expectation states theory. Group members subconsciously evaluate contributions based on status expectations. If your behavior violates those expectations by being too bold or too loud for your perceived rank, the system anticipates a social correction. The reason the brain is so sensitive to these rank claims is that dominance sensitive species, including humans, retaliate against unstable hierarchy moves. In his work on reverse dominance hierarchies, anthropologist Christopher Bohm noted that hunter gatherer groups actively punished individuals who attempted to dominate the group without justification. They used leveling mechanisms. In a modern context, humans still do this. The retaliation is rarely physical, but it is socially devastating. We use mockery, reducing the claimant's status through humor, exclusion, removing the claimant from the coalition, withdrawal of warmth, signaling that the claimant is no longer a trusted peer, reputation damage, spreading information that lowers the claimant's value in the eyes of others. The brain anticipates this retaliation before it happens. This is a critical distinction. Doubt is not a reaction to failure, it is the anticipation of reputational backlash. This aligns with error management theory. Evolution has biased the human mind toward avoiding high cost social errors. It is better to miss an opportunity for status gain than to suffer a catastrophic status loss. Because status loss is so costly, the brain defaults to inhibition. When the system calculates high volatility, meaning the environment is unpredictable or the audience is critical, it triggers the behavioral inhibition system, a concept from reinforcement sensitivity theory. This system stops the action to prevent the potential for punishment. This process is not just in your head, it is a whole body physiological event. When a risky rank expansion is detected, a specific neural circuit activates. The amygdala flags the situation as threat relevant. It determines that the social stakes are high. The anterior cingulate cortex begins monitoring for the potential of social pain. Research by Naomi Eisenberger and Matthew Lieberman shows that the ACC treats social rejection with the same neural intensity as physical pain. The insula increases your self awareness. This is why you become self conscious. You are suddenly hyper aware of your posture, your voice, and your words because the brain is trying to audit your performance for errors. The prefrontal cortex engages in error simulation, running what if scenarios of failure. This neural activity results in immediate physical shifts. Cortisol rises, preparing the body for a high stakes encounter. Heart rate increases, providing oxygen to muscles for potential flight or fight. Motor hesitation. The brain sends stop signals to the muscles, resulting in a feeling of being stiff or clumsy. Voice microinstability. The muscles controlling the vocal cords tighten, reflecting the internal state of threat. These are not signs of weakness, they are preemptive dampening mechanisms. The organism is reducing its amplitude, lowering its presence to minimize the probability of being noticed and punished by the hierarchy. There is a common misconception that doubt disappears with success. The opposite is often true. As individuals attempt upward mobility, the status forecasting system activates more frequently and more intensely. This happens because each expansion in rank increases three variables. Evaluation density. More people are watching you. Competitive threat. You are now competing with higher ranking, more competent individuals who are more likely to defend their position. Envy probability. High status individuals are targets for leveling mechanisms from those below them. In economics, this is similar to status anxiety. As the stakes get higher, the margin for error gets thinner. If you are at the bottom of a hierarchy, you have little to lose. If you are at the top or climbing towards it, a single reputational error can cost you years of accumulated capital. Doubt intensifies at these expansion thresholds. It is not because the person has become fragile or lost their confidence. It is because the biological stakes have become significantly higher. The brain is simply doing its job. It is being more cautious because the cost of a mistake has increased. To understand why the status forecasting system is so aggressive, we must look at our evolutionary history. We must understand why the brain treats a bad presentation or a social gaffe as if it were a life threatening emergency. For the vast majority of human history, reputation was not about feeling good. It was the variable that regulated your probability of survival. This was a statistical reality. Humans evolved in small groups, typically averaging between 30 and 150 individuals, a limit known as Dunbar's number. In these environments, there was no anonymity. Everyone knew your history, your competence, and your reliability. In these small groups, resources were shared. Food was distributed based on your value to the group. Conflict required coalitions. You needed allies to defend you from physical threats. Mating depended on perceived value. Your ability to pass on your genes was tied to your status. Your reputation determined who defended you in a fight, who shared their kill with you during a famine, who trusted you with their children, who would exile you if you became a liability. In this context, a damaged reputation was not an embarrassment, it was a destabilization of your resource stream. Anthropological records of hunter gatherer societies show that the ultimate punishment was not death, but exile. Ostracism was effectively a death sentence. Without the protection of the group, predation risk increased. A lone human is easy prey. Starvation risk increased. Humans are obligate cooperators. We survive by hunting and gathering in teams. Violence vulnerability increased. Without a coalition, you could not defend your territory or your life. Because of this, the human brain encoded a fundamental rule. Reputational instability equals existential threat. This is why social rejection activates the same neural circuitry as physical pain. The brain does not distinguish between a broken leg and a broken social bond because historically both led to the same outcome: death. When you feel doubt, your brain is trying to prevent you from taking an action that might lead to social exclusion. We often speak of hierarchies as if they are modern social constructs. They are not. They are biological. Primates, our closest relatives, organize themselves through dominance hierarchies. In these groups, rank determines almost every aspect of life. Stress levels. As Robert Sapolsky's research on baboons shows, low-ranking individuals have chronically elevated cortisol and weaker immune systems. Access to resources. High-ranking individuals eat first and eat better. Exposure to aggression. Low-ranking individuals are the frequent targets of displaced aggression from those above them. Humans have inherited this architecture. Your nervous system tracks your rank because for millions of years, your rank determined your physiological health and your access to the means of survival. You are the descendant of people who were very, very good at monitoring their status and avoiding social demotion. The confident individuals who ignored these signals and were subsequently exiled did not become our ancestors. Modern society has changed. We no longer live in tribes of 150. If you are mocked in a meeting, you will not be left in the wilderness to be eaten by predators. You can go to a different store, find a different job, or move to a different city. However, the biological hardware has not caught up to the modern software. While the lethal consequences of social error have decreased, the reputational consequences remain highly relevant. Your status still affects your income. Higher status often correlates with higher pay and better opportunities. Your career trajectory. Hierarchies in corporations and institutions are very real. Your partnership options. Human mating still involves heavy filtering based on perceived value and status. Your social capital. Having a good name is still the primary currency for accessing help, information, and influence. The scale of our groups has changed, but the circuitry persists. The brain still treats a potential reputational miscalculation as a high cost event. It still uses doubt as a dampening mechanism to prevent you from risking it all on a rank claim you might not be able to defend. Now we fuse these two pillars together to see the full picture. The status forecasting system is the how. It uses predictive processing to scan for social errors and rank volatility. Reputation as a survival variable is the why. It is the reason the system is so sensitive and the reason social pain feels like physical injury. When you are about to step into a new level of visibility or authority, the following chain reaction occurs. Your brain detects a rank expansion because you are doing something bold. It forecasts a social counterattack. It predicts people might judge or reject you. It recognizes that social rejection historically led to resource instability and death. The amygdala and the ACC trigger a threat response. The behavioral inhibition system deploys doubt to slow you down, make you hesitate, and force you to reevaluate the risk. This information is not an identity defect. It is a survival preservation calculation. Doubt is not an emotional flaw. It is a predictive, evolutionarily conserved rank preservation mechanism. It is grounded in the dynamics of dominance hierarchies and the economics of reputational survival. It activates whenever your behavioral expansion risks triggering a social demotion that exceeds your current level of secured rank. Understanding the mechanism changes how you respond to the signal. When you feel doubt, you can stop asking, "What is wrong with me?" and start asking, "What is my brain trying to protect?" You are experiencing a high speed audit of your social environment. Your brain is noticing that the stakes have increased. It is noticing that you are making a rank claim. It is doing exactly what it was evolved to do. In future discussions, we can explore how to provide the system with data that lowers the threat threshold, how to demonstrate competence to your own nervous system so that the forecasting engine sees less risk. But for today, the goal is simply to understand the engine. You are not doubting yourself. Your status forecasting system is running a simulation. It is a biological fact of the human experience.